What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fantasy Alarm TV. I'm your host, Jeff Mans, for another DFS checklist item of the day. Popular question people often tweet to me, ask me, at Jeff_Mans on Twitter, by the way. Jeff, how do I find value plays in daily fantasy baseball? And I'll give you a couple of tips, easy ways to find value right now. Number one's batting order slot. You know, guys, this you don't know till an hour or so before roster lock, but check for guys who are moving up in the batting order, specifically guys who will hit first or second in the lineup. Those are guys that will get that extra a bat or two if the game starts rolling along, to also hit in front of a superstar player a lot of times. I mean, that's another way to find value, is if a guy hits in front or even behind a player like Bryce Harper or Paul Goldschmidt. We always hear Goldschmidt's been walked a ton. Bryce Harper's walking at an epic clip right now. Those guys behind him are now have opportunities with runners in scoring position, runners on base. You get the pitcher out of the stretch at a discounted price. That's an awesome opportunity for you to find value there. But guys who are moving up to that second or the leadoff spot, they get on base, you get that extra bat. Great chance to get some value in daily fantasy baseball. Also, guys at the end of the lineup, if they're playing in a great ballpark like Chase Field or Coors Field, you know, don't ignore guys who are hitting 6th, 7th, and 8th in those parks as well, especially if there's a high expected run total. Check them out. They'll lineup will turn over and be just fine, and you get a lot of value out of them because they're usually lower priced at a good production level. Number two on my list of how to find value plays is great players. Just great players who are slumping, that everybody else is off of them. You guys heard me talk all last week about Adam Jones and Troy Tulowitzki. That worked out. It's made me tens of thousands of dollars just playing those guys and committing to them. Great players will do great things. That's what happens in fantasy baseball. You got to understand that. Season-long players, you know this. So daily players, you need to adhere to it as well. You know, buying up a guy who's been struggling, a superstar type player, not the guys at the end of their career in their 40s and things like that, but a guy like Tulo and Jones who are in their early 30s that still have a lot of games left in front of them and have big contracts. They got those big contracts so that they'll play through slumps. Don't ignore them, all right? We did it last year. Robinson Cano was done last year, according to many people. Matt Kemp was done at the beginning of last year to many people. So don't take that for granted. Great players will do great things. Another way to find value in daily fantasy baseball is prospects. And not necessarily the great prospects, the Blake Snells and Tyler Glasnows of the world. No, it's these other random guys that come up that could add, that hit in the middle of a lineup. A guy who maybe are just red hot at AAA or something like that. And he comes up, and those guys, the algorithms in daily fantasy baseball aren't pricing them very high. They're usually coming in at a minimum price level. That means they're still strong players, and they're red hot right now. They could jump into a good situation and perform admirably for you in daily fantasy baseball. So don't ignore prospects just because they're not necessarily elite level guys. Even older guys that took a while, 25, 26, 27-year-old guys who are coming up for the first or second time, they have a lot to prove. They don't want to go back down to the minor leagues, and you're getting them at bare minimum price. So there you go. Those are a couple of my ways to find value plays. You got other questions for me? Check it out on Twitter at Jeff_Mans or at Fantasy Alarm. Check out DFS Playbook Pro, fantasyalarm.com/winning, because that's what we're about, baby. Till next time, DFS checklist item. I've been Jeff Mans.